Hey there, welcome back. If you've ever wondered what men actually consider great sex, you're not alone. In fact, this question has popped up quite a few times recently, and today we're going to dive straight in and break it down. We're talking about what makes intimacy truly amazing for men in a committed, monogamous relationship, beyond just the physical act itself. Forget old assumptions and one-size-fits-all rules. Instead, let's explore the key factors that can transform your connection and elevate those moments together. Ready to learn the secrets that can take your love life to a whole new level? Let's get started. Factor number 1, frequency. When it comes to understanding what men consider great sex, one of the most fundamental and often overlooked elements is frequency. In a committed, monogamous relationship, the number of times you come together intimately each month can significantly shape your partner's overall sense of satisfaction. Sure, quality matters, but without a level of consistency that meets his desires, even the most pleasurable encounters can lose their shine over time. Think of frequency as laying the groundwork for a deeper emotional and physical connection. Just as we all know that strong relationships thrive on regular communication, shared experiences, and affectionate gestures, maintaining a steady rhythm of sexual intimacy can do wonders for keeping the spark alive. Men, in particular, often derive a sense of closeness, reassurance, and stability from knowing that their partner genuinely wants to be intimate with them on a regular basis. To put it another way, let's borrow a metaphor from the original source, pizza. Even when pizza isn't the best you've ever had, it's still pretty good. Sex can feel similar. When it's frequent enough, the overall satisfaction remains high, even if not every single session is a mind-blowing, fireworks-in-the-sky event. But what happens when sex becomes too infrequent, falling far below one partner's ideal frequency? Eventually, disappointment or frustration may set in. It might not show up immediately, but over time, he could start feeling less desired, questioning whether he's truly attractive or valued in the relationship. Picture this scenario. Let's say your partner would ideally love to be intimate 3 times a week. You've got a busy life. Work projects are piling up, social commitments are calling, and stress levels are soaring. Maybe you can only manage once every week or two. While nobody's suggesting you drop everything and rush to the bedroom, it's important to understand that, in his mind, the gap between what he hopes for and what he actually experiences can leave him feeling unfulfilled. He's not necessarily expecting Hollywood movie-level passion every time, but he does long for the reassurance and connection that come from being physically close with you on a somewhat regular schedule. Frequency also ties into a man's sense of accomplishment, pride, and confidence in the relationship. Knowing that his partner wants to share that space of intimacy with him, often enough that it feels like a natural, consistent part of your life together, can boost his self-esteem and foster a more profound bond. On the other hand, if months go by with only a handful of encounters, he may begin to question whether something is off. Is he doing something wrong? Has the relationship cooled? Does he need to step up in some area or address an underlying issue? This isn't about pressuring yourself into having sex when you're not in the mood. Rather, it's about understanding how crucial consistency can be. If life gets hectic and the usual frequency dips, having an honest conversation can make a world of difference. Talk about what's happening in your lives. Maybe work deadlines are crushing you, maybe you're both feeling run down, or maybe you need to carve out more time for emotional connection before physical closeness feels natural again. By discussing these things openly, you show that you care about his feelings and that you value maintaining a satisfying level of intimacy. Finding creative solutions, like planning a date night, sharing a relaxing bath, or surprising him with a weekend getaway, can reinvigorate the momentum you once enjoyed. Remember that every couple is unique. Some pairs are perfectly happy with 1 or 2 encounters a week, others thrive on a near-daily basis. There's no correct number, only what works best for both of you. The key is to ensure that both partners feel heard, understood, and fulfilled. If he's longing for more frequency and you're struggling to meet that need, consider exploring ways to compromise. Quality can never fully replace quantity, and quantity alone won't keep the flame alive without authenticity and care. But when frequency and emotional connection meet, that's where the true magic lies. In the end, frequency is more than just a statistic. It's a reflection of mutual desire, commitment, and willingness to invest in each other. By recognizing its importance and striving to maintain a healthy balance, you'll be well on your way to creating a sexually vibrant, deeply satisfying relationship that nurtures both of your needs. Factor number 2, variety. Picture this. You've been going to the same coffee shop every morning for years, ordering the exact same latte, sitting in the same corner seat. Sure, it's comfortable and predictable, but after a while your taste buds crave something a little different. A mocha here, a cappuccino there, maybe even a seasonal special with whipped cream on top. Relationships and the intimacy they foster can feel remarkably similar. Men, just like anyone else, thrive on novelty and excitement in the bedroom, and that's where variety comes in. Variety doesn't mean you have to abandon what you know and love. It's not about turning your whole sexual routine upside down overnight. Instead, it's about adding subtle shifts and new elements that keep things fresh. Think of it as decorating a room. You don't need to toss out your favorite furniture, but rearranging the layout, adding a new piece of art, or changing the color scheme can invigorate the whole space. For a man, experimenting with new positions, different forms of foreplay, or exploring new settings can rekindle that spark and prevent the experience from feeling like autopilot. Let's say you've always gravitated toward one or two tried-and-true positions. While they might feel comfortable and even pleasurable, relying on them too much can lull the brain into a state of familiarity that eventually dampens excitement. Men appreciate a partner who is open to trying something different now and then, whether it's switching positions, adding a playful accessory, or choosing a spot other than the bedroom. Maybe you transform a quiet Sunday afternoon into a memorable encounter in the living room, or surprise him after dinner by suggesting the two of you slip away to the guest room you rarely use. These small changes can leave a lasting impression, sending the message that you're both invested in keeping the passion alive. Beyond location or position changes, variety can come from the emotional tone you set. Not every intimate moment needs to be slow, candlelit romance. Sometimes it's exhilarating to turn up the intensity, make it a bit playful or adventurous, or embrace spontaneity instead of planning everything out. One night might be about soft whispers, gentle kisses, and lingering touches. Another could be more daring, involving a few confident requests that break you out of your comfort zone. When men see that you're willing to explore different energies and styles of lovemaking, they feel more understood, excited, and connected. Costumes, role-play scenarios, or simply wearing something different, like lingerie in a style he's never seen, can also inject novelty into your intimate life. The point isn't to become someone you're not, but to show that you're curious about what else might bring you closer, both emotionally and physically. Even trying a new soundtrack or lighting a scented candle he's never experienced can create an environment that feels fresh and enticing. Consider this scenario. Let's say your partner often jokes about how he had a teenage fantasy of making love in a dimly lit attic or getting steamy in the back seat of a parked car under the stars. Safely and discreetly, of course. Even if it feels a bit silly at first, acknowledging his imagination and indulging it in a playful, respectful manner can send the message that you value his desires. By stepping out of the ordinary and into something new, you remind him that there's so much more to discover together. At its core, variety is about showing that the relationship is alive, growing, and evolving. It reassures him that the two of you aren't stuck on a single track, and that, as time passes, your connection adapts and flourishes. A relationship that embraces variety tells him you're both willing to continuously learn about each other's preferences, fantasies, and emotional triggers. This openness to change and growth fosters trust, communication, and long-term satisfaction. Ultimately, variety isn't about chasing constant novelty to avoid boredom. Instead, It's about nurturing a dynamic connection where both partners feel heard, desired, and excited about what might happen next. By introducing new elements, whether big or small, you keep the conversation flowing, the energy high, and the bond between you and your partner vibrant and fulfilling. Factor number 3, fantasy. Imagine looking out at an open highway that stretches into the distance, shimmering with possibility. That's what fantasy can feel like in a relationship, an endless, exciting road to explore. When it comes to what men consider great sex, embracing fantasies can play a surprisingly powerful role. It's not just about wild costumes or exotic locations. It's about tapping into the rich, imaginative side of your connection and showing that the two of you aren't afraid to push the boundaries of routine. We all carry secret dreams or playful scenarios in our minds. Maybe he's mentioned, half-jokingly, that he'd love to revisit his high school football field late at night. Perhaps he's always wanted to see you in that silky piece of lingerie he's glimpsed in the back of your closet. Or maybe he's never said it out loud, but he smiles when you pass by a fancy hotel lounge, as if picturing a clandestine escape from everyday life. These private visions don't have to be extravagant or impossible. Often they're rooted in simple desires, sharing a moment that feels special, different, or even slightly taboo. By acknowledging fantasies, you're not just playing into a man's wish list, you're validating that part of him that dares to think outside the box. Let's say your partner occasionally hints at wanting to try something new in the bedroom. Maybe a role play where he's the traveling musician and you're the gracious host, or a scenario where you both pretend to be strangers meeting in a bar for the first time. Even if it feels a bit silly at first, giving it a go can open doors to deeper trust and laughter. After all, exploring fantasies isn't about perfect acting skills. It's about having fun, experimenting, and being vulnerable enough to share these hidden corners of your imagination. Consider the scenario of fulfilling a simple fantasy, like making love outdoors under a blanket of stars. It might involve some planning, finding a private spot, waiting for the right weather, and working up the nerve. But the payoff is that you're co-creating a memory neither of you will forget. The sparkle in his eyes afterward isn't just about the physical act. It's about the courage it took to step outside the familiar and embrace what could be. Fantasies can also be as small as trying out a new piece of clothing or whispering certain words that he finds particularly alluring. They don't have to become a weekly event, nor do you need to check off every idea on a bucket list. What matters is the willingness to consider these possibilities. Maybe he imagines you both spontaneously taking advantage of a sudden quiet moment in the house while the kids are away. Perhaps he's intrigued by reading a steamy story together before bed, turning literature into a shared spark. The key is listening and being open-minded, just as you'd want him to be with your own dreams. It's important to remember that fantasies are personal and sometimes sensitive. He might be nervous about sharing them, fearing judgment or ridicule. How you respond can either encourage more openness or shut it down entirely. Start by having a light, non-judgmental conversation. Hey, I've been thinking, are there any places or scenarios you've ever secretly wanted to try? Your willingness to ask, to be curious, and to take his thoughts seriously can build a sense of team spirit, a feeling that you're in this adventure together. Fulfilling fantasies doesn't mean losing sight of who you are as a couple. It's not about changing your relationship's core dynamic, but about broadening your horizons. By acknowledging that you're both multi-layered individuals with curious minds, you celebrate the complexity and richness of your bond. Rather than seeing fantasy as a threat to what you already have, view it as a bridge to deeper understanding and intimacy. In the end, exploring fantasy is about creating a secret language that only the two of you share. It signals trust. I trust you enough to tell you this. It conveys excitement. We can still surprise each other. And it nurtures intimacy. We're partners, building something even more meaningful together. By tapping into fantasy, you keep that highway of possibility open, ensuring that your love life remains vibrant, evolving, and full of delightful twists you'll treasure for years to come. Factor number 4, intensity. Imagine turning down the volume on your favorite song so low that you can barely hear the beat. Technically, the music is still playing, but without any real energy or impact. Sexual intimacy can feel the same way when intensity is missing. While frequency, variety, and fantasy are crucial elements of great sex, intensity often serves as the spark that brings everything together, elevating a moment from merely pleasant to downright unforgettable. Intensity isn't about being loud or forceful. It's about authenticity, emotion, and the way you show your partner that you're fully present in the moment. For many men, part of what makes sex genuinely exciting is witnessing the pleasure their partner experiences. Think about it. When someone is passionate about something, you can see it in their face, feel it in their voice, and sense it in their body language. That's the kind of energy that tells a man, "I'm here with you and I'm loving this." This emotional engagement can take countless forms. Maybe it's the way you arch your back just a little closer when you find that perfect rhythm, or the subtle catch in your breath when a particular touch sends a shiver down your spine. It might be soft murmurs of approval, playful laughter as you try something new, or a sigh of contentment as you both slow down to savor the moment. These reactions give him valuable feedback. He knows he's doing something right, that you're not just going through the motions. Without intensity, he might wonder if you're bored, distracted, or even pretending. When you show genuine enjoyment, it reassures him that you're both on the same page, sharing a meaningful and mutual experience. Consider a simple example. Imagine you're both exploring a new position. He's a bit uncertain if you're comfortable or enjoying it. If you remain completely silent and still, he's left guessing. But if you offer a soft whisper, "Yes, that feels good," he immediately understands that you're engaged. Or if you tighten your grip on his shoulder, let out a gentle moan, or even direct him with a hushed "right there," you turn a potentially confusing scenario into one where he knows exactly how you feel. That clarity helps both of you relax and dive deeper into the moment. It's also worth noting that men often appreciate feeling like they've accomplished something in the bedroom. This isn't about stroking an ego in a superficial way. It's about the satisfaction of knowing that they've contributed to your pleasure. When you show intensity through voice, movement, or genuine enthusiasm, you send a clear message. You are making me happy. This feedback loop can create a joyful cycle. The more he senses your enjoyment, the more confident and engaged he becomes, which in turn amplifies your own pleasure. Of course, intensity isn't limited to any one style of lovemaking. It can enhance a slow, romantic evening where each touch is deliberate and meaningful. It can also elevate a spontaneous afternoon tryst, where laughter and playful banter mix with desire. Intensity is about presence, truly showing up, emotionally and physically. It's about being comfortable enough to let go of self-consciousness, knowing your partner will appreciate the honesty and vulnerability you bring to the table. If you're feeling hesitant about expressing yourself more openly, start small. Maybe try using your voice to guide him. Light praises when he does something you like, or a gentle reminder if something feels off. Pay attention to your body's natural responses and let them surface. A soft sigh, a subtle shift closer, even maintaining eye contact at just the right moment can speak volumes. Over time, you'll grow more comfortable showing these cues, and he'll learn to read them more intuitively. Intensity doesn't mean turning every encounter into a blockbuster production. Authenticity and sincerity matter more than volume or theatrics. Show him you're present, that you're feeling the connection, and that you're not afraid to reveal the pleasure he's bringing you. When both partners feel safe to express themselves this way, you create a deeper bond that transcends mere physicality. In the end, intensity is the heartbeat of great sex, the rhythm that reassures him you're truly there, body and soul. By embracing it, you invite greater closeness, understanding, and joy into your relationship, paving the way for more deeply satisfying moments both inside and outside the bedroom. Conclusion: when it comes to what men consider great sex, the secret lies in more than just physical connection. It's about fostering an intimate bond that blends emotional, mental, and physical elements. The 4 key factors we've explored, frequency, variety, fantasy, and intensity, serve as building blocks to create a fulfilling and exciting sexual relationship. Each one offers an opportunity to deepen your connection, reignite passion, and keep the spark alive. Frequency ensures that intimacy remains a priority, meeting each other's needs and maintaining closeness. Variety keeps the experience fresh and exciting, showing that you're both willing to explore new possibilities together. Fantasy allows you to tap into each other's imaginations, turning dreams into shared adventures that bring you closer. And finally, intensity bridges everything together, letting your partner know that you're fully present and genuinely enjoying the experience. The beauty of these factors is that they aren't about grand gestures or unrealistic expectations. They're about communication, understanding, and a willingness to grow together. By paying attention to what makes each other feel valued, excited, and desired, you lay the foundation for a relationship that thrives on trust, passion, and mutual satisfaction. So, take these insights to heart, reflect on your own relationship, and explore how you can apply them in meaningful ways. Whether it's a small adjustment or a bold new step, each effort you make will show your partner how much you care about nurturing your connection. In the end, great sex is about building a love that's dynamic, responsive, and truly unforgettable for both of you. Thank you for reading. If you found this helpful, don't forget to share your thoughts and stay tuned for more insights and advice to enhance your relationships. Here's to creating deeper connections and unforgettable experiences.